Welcome to the Mortgage Podcast, where we give tactics, strategies, and inspiration to get you to 10 plus loans per month. We talk a lot about how to make a ton of money in mortgage while also being happy and thriving in your personal life. If you want to be a mortgage millionaire, you're in the right place.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Todd Scrima here, reading chapter 6 of the book Dare to Sell. This chapter is called The Reckoning. Lauren was in her car before the Zoom call, still grappling with how much effort she had put into this process. They might not even hire me, she thought, but she couldn't deny how much she had learned and how professional everyone had been so far. At exactly 3 p.m., Dave joined the call. Hi, Lauren. I've heard some great things about you. I understand we're putting you through the ringer, Dave said with a warm smile. Yeah, you could say that, Lauren laughed, but honestly, it's been eye-opening and exciting. Dave nodded. Well, I've been with Summit for 18 years, and it's been the best decision of my life. Todd really changed my trajectory. He dug into me when we first met, and I'd like to do the same with you, if that's okay. Of course, Lauren replied. Can you tell me your story, maybe 3 minutes, where you come from, what your parents did, and how you got to where you are now? Lauren hesitated, and then she shared, my parents immigrated from Mexico. My dad was a bricklayer, and my mom cleaned commercial buildings. We were lower middle class. They worked hard, and I was able to go to a state college and graduate with honors. I got into loans as a processor and eventually switched to sales to earn even more. I never wanted to struggle financially like my parents did. That's amazing, Dave said. We have a similar backgrounds. My parents were blue collar too, and they taught me work ethic. So tell me, what keeps you up at night about your business? Lauren hesitated. Well, honestly, my income has dropped from $250,000 to $100,000 per year. I'm losing confidence, and my financial stress, well, it's a lot. I can't keep it all together. Meeting Chris Klock was a turning point. He introduced me to this whole process. Dave nodded. I get it. When I met Todd, I was in a lawsuit. I had 2 underwater rentals and had about $100,000 to my name. He taught me how to sell and, just as importantly, how to save and invest. Fast forward 18 years, I have a net worth of over $15 million, no debt except a mortgage on my second home. It wasn't easy, and I don't say this to brag. I just want you to know that this process works if you commit to it. That sounds incredible, but almost too good to be true, Lauren admitted. It's not, but it does require delayed gratification, Dave explained. What does that mean? Well, most salespeople want quick wins. Make a few calls, close a deal, get paid. But real success takes time and consistent effort. Think of it like raising kids. You don't parent your kids for 2 years and expect them to turn out perfect. Yet many salespeople treat their careers like that. Short-term thinking, no real strategy. That makes sense, Lauren said. Let me ask you a personal question, if that's okay, Dave said. What's your current net worth, including your home equity, retirement, and any other savings? Lauren laughed nervously. Feels like a loan application. But sure, about $200,000. We've got about $100,000 equity in our home and about $100,000 in stocks and retirement. Well, thanks for sharing. How much do you think you need to retire comfortably? I don't know, probably about $4 million. Well, that's a good number. If you had $4 million and your house was paid off, you could safely withdraw about 5% a year, or about $200,000 annually, which is about $16,600 a month. Sound good? Absolutely. Well, let's do some math, Dave said, pulling out his calculator. If you save $2,500 a month for 30 years at a 9% rate of return, you'll have over $6 million. Doable? Well, that sounds amazing, but how? Well, let's break it down. If your bills are $15,000 a month and Mark brings in $5,000 after taxes, you need to make about $10,000 after taxes, or about $18,500 per month. That's roughly 5.5 loans a month at $3,500 commission per loan. Is that doable? Well, I guess so, Lauren said cautiously. To close 5.5 loans, you need 28 referred leads a month, 9 loan applications, and 11 referral accounts feeding your business. That is sales math. Most salespeople don't even know their metrics, and that's why they struggle. But I only have 2 referral accounts now, Lauren said. 11 sounds impossible. Not impossible, Dave said. You just haven't been taught how. Have you ever played golf? No, I'm not very athletic. Well, if you practice golf with a coach once a week, and played 3 hours on your own, you'd beat about 80% of golfers in 6 months. It's the same with sales. Without training, strategy, and practice, you won't win. Does that make sense? Lauren nodded. So I'm bad at sales because no one ever taught me properly? Exactly. Ego and instant gratification stop most people from learning new skills that they actually need. But here's the good news. We can teach you 5 key skills that, when mastered, will ensure you never struggle again. What would that do to your life? Well, it would mean sleeping at night, not snapping at my kids, and hitting the $6 million goal you just planted in my head, Lauren said with a smile. Perfect. The 5 skills are target calls, the 2-step close, the professional loan presentation, some closing techniques, and a simple follow-up process. It's about 50 hours of work, and you'll see results almost immediately. Well, that doesn't sound that bad, Lauren said. It's not, Dave said, but here's the thing. You've hit a tough market and you froze. My guess is you've already considered leaving the industry. Lauren hesitated. I did talk to another company. I figured. Most struggling salespeople have blame on their breath. They blame the market, their upbringing, their boss, anything to avoid self-accountability. Sounds somewhat familiar? Lauren sighed. It does. What do I do? You decide if it's worth it, Dave said. It's going to be hard work, but if you're willing to commit, you'll never look back. Are you ready? Yes, I think I am, Lauren said. Dave leaned forward, his tone steady. I agree. The first step is getting your heart in the right place. Focus on helping them make more money. My sales plan for realtors over the next year follows the Jolt-proven process, which keeps everything simple and repeatable. Each strategy becomes an offer, followed by a hook that grabs their attention. Then my dialer uses scripts to set up appointments. Here's how I break it down for the year. In January and February, I do the Realtor Commission Protection Program. The hook is top producing realtors, how to obtain 3% commission every time. In March and April, I do the open house script. The hook is a simple way to capture 70% of open house visitors' contact info and close $20,000 more per month. In May and June, I use the strong offer, helping realtors get offers accepted. The hook is how to get over 80% of your offers accepted now and close 2 more deals a month. In July and August, I have an investor focus. The hook is a $100,000 investor buster. Work with investors who buy 21% of all homes in America. In September and October, I use the virtual assistant program. The hook is how to hire a virtual assistant to boost your business 2 appointments daily for as little as $6 per hour. In November and December, I do business planning for next year. The hook is a 15-minute business plan to have your best year ever. Does that kind of make sense? Dave asked, leaning back. Lauren blinked. Yeah, that seems like a lot. Dave nodded. It is. That's why I rely on my assistant and the Jolt team. They're incredible. I couldn't do it all on my own. Lauren tilted her head, considering, so should I think of sales like a manufacturing line? Because up to now, I thought it was my job to do everything. Exactly, Dave said firmly. If you wrote down every task you needed to do as a salesperson, it would take 4 pages single-spaced. It's simply too much for one person. And unless you're in a super hot market, you'll never consistently close 10 plus deals a month trying to do it all on your own. Lauren nodded slowly, realization sinking in. I get that now. Good, said Dave with a grin. We're off to a great start. So one of the things I like about doing an audiobook is I get to give some spin on what I just covered. This is a fairly short chapter. One of the things that I want you to stand out is that Dave is asking very direct and deep questions. In my book, I actually have a list of my top 15 deep questions. And you don't need all 15, you need 3 or 4 to really open people up and be more direct and more probing and more curious. The other thing is that, Dave is passionate. Like, he's doing really well in his life. He's achieved a high net worth, and he's done a lot of things. And you can hopefully feel that in his passion. I had a mentor once tell me, sales is simply a transfer of passion. And I think a lot of people think they're passionate, but when I watch them in the field, they're not very passionate. They're kind of boring. So that's something I want you to get out of this. Lauren is going to learn how to be more excited and uplifting, more encouraging, more curious. And, when you talk about this meeting, that meeting was maybe 8 minutes long, but it was pretty impactful because Dave led the meeting and got right down to business. So many people in sales, we talk about the weather and we talk about the football game and all these things that you're doing it because you're nervous. It has nothing to do with actually getting down to business and helping someone do better in their business. So the other thing is that I'm pretty certain that in a real setting, Lauren would leave this meeting and say, wow, we covered some retirement metrics. We covered some sales metrics. I have more clarity. And when you have a meeting with an account, you want them to say, wow, that's unbelievable. Like, I really like that person. And that usually takes some discomfort during the meeting. It's not comfortable asking people what their net worth is, but Dave did it, right? There's a level of uncomfortability that's really hard to get people to learn to do because we're taught, just make the client happy, service at all cost. But people have taken that thought process and they think, well, my job is just to be warm and fuzzy. And that is not the case. I had a buddy who went to the doctor years ago and he wasn't eating right and he was overweight. And the doctor said, set him down. He told me this story. He says, you're married, you got 2 little kids. Yeah. Do you love them? And the guy said, yeah. He says, good. You better love them a lot because you're going to die young. Now, that man today is in very good shape and he lost about 40 pounds. He's kept it off. That was like 10 years ago. He told me the story. So that came from the doctor being direct and asking him a leading question and kind of crushing on him a little bit. These are delicate things to learn. I don't mean to be rude, but we do have to be honest and direct and transparent. And it's a style of communication that a lot of people really struggle with. So those are some things that I wanted you to get out of this. I would say the last thing is Dave is alluding to building a net worth. And everyone's goals on this is very different. For someone like her, if she had $3, $4, $5, $6 million just by saving money consistently, that's how 95% of people do it. And it's a habit that you get into. And he's trying to get her into the vision so that she can understand, hey, when the kids leave the house and I'm getting ready to retire, my husband and I can have a very good retirement. And if we want to, we may be able to give our kids a head start in life by leaving them some net worth. So that's more legacy planning. It's vision planning. It's something that one of the things that I ask almost every single interview that I do is, where do you want to be in 5 years? And I will tell you with confidence that about 90% of people do not have an answer to that question. They don't know where they're going. And so they'll never get there. It's like you want to go to some city 5 hours away, but you got no GPS and no map. And it doesn't work. It never will work. So part of what Dave is trying to do for Lauren in this chapter is start giving her a vision for what she can create in her life and develop that self-leadership muscle, because it's the big piece that a lot of salespeople struggle with. And Dave knows that. So I hope you enjoyed this chapter. It's fairly short. The next one, we're going to get into the nitty gritty as you go on a journey with Lauren, and she's going to reach some real hard points. So stay tuned.